Welcome to the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of liking having Chris McDaniel on here. He's certainly one of us. Maybe we do this more often.
Well, I got to tell you, Keith, when it comes to Kansas culture, you represent that. Your family represents that, along with all those other great families. When it comes to real Michigan culture, real Texas culture, boy, do I have some condemnations about that. I represent that. The Nugent family represents that. And Chris McDaniel in Mississippi, he represents the vast majority of Mississippi families, which happens to be the pulse of the vast majority of American families. So, Chris, welcome back to the Nightly Nuge. You are a blood brother for truth, logic, and common sense, and we appreciate you standing up in these treacherous times in America.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me. It's time to fight, and we got to stand and hold the line in states like Mississippi, and I'm happy to be a part of that for sure.
Let me open up with the hunting, because I'm hearing from all my hunting buddies. And again, once again, hunting is not just recreation. Obviously, when you participate in God's miraculous creation as a hands-on conservationist resource steward, it does recreate your energy. It recreates your soul. That's what recreation is supposed to do. And I suppose you can get it from golf, but there's no backstraps there. My point is that it's a hardcore lifestyle, and it's across the great state of Mississippi. You are surrounded by hunters, fishermen, trappers, ranchers, farmers, outdoor enthusiasts, resource stewards, conservationists. Let's have your take down in Mississippi about wildlife management, because once again, I think the ultimate demographic for conservatism can be found in the licensed hunting families of America and Mississippi.
Well, ultimately, what matters here is that every right to exercise our traditions, which include hunting, has to be preserved and protected at all costs. And that's one of the things governments are supposed to do. Governments are here to protect our God-given rights. You mentioned that once before. Our inalienable or unalienable rights, governments have to protect those rights. So absolutely, government must protect Mississippi's rights and its traditions, and hunting is a big part of that. And we all grow up hunting here. It's a part of our lifestyle. It's a part of our culture. My kids now have gravitated more toward fishing because of our time constraints, but it's an everyday occurrence for us to be outdoors and be a part of that environment. So we're going to protect that in Mississippi at all costs.
You know, we've got some great allies down there. Primos is headquartered in Mississippi, I believe, and so is Mossy Oak, and they're great representatives of the hunting culture. But hunting is essential. You have to harvest the surplus to save the habitat carrying capacity for next spring's production. Now, I'm just a guitar player, but I figured that out all by myself. And that should be the mantra in Mississippi. If it's good for maximizing family hours of recreation, revenues generated while responsibly managing those herds and flocks and schools of fish for sustained yield continuity, that is the battle cry for hunting and fishing. Would you agree with that simple scientific premise?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. No doubt about it.
Well, Ted, you'll get the hunting families on your side.
Well, Ted, you're in Orlando, Florida right now, getting ready to take the stage at the Hard Rock down there in Orlando. We said we were going to let Chris go, but I'd like to bring him back if we can one more night, because Friday nights are free for all. We've been talking, politics all week. I'm thinking music. You're doing music. I'd like to get him on the Friday Free For All. Let's talk a little music. You can tell us how the tour's going, maybe give us a little set list preview. And let's put Chris on the spot. What's his favorite Ted Nugent song tomorrow night on the Friday Free For All? How about that, boys?
I think we ought to, because I love Chris, but I want to make sure he listens to the proper music. Anyhow, my point is that I'm having the time of my life. I got my Jason Hartless on drums, just a complete animal. So dedicated to his craft and so musical. Johnny Big from here in Texas. These guys put their heart and soul into every lick, every song, every night, and the audiences are just going berserk. I actually believe, for the first time in my life, that the audiences might like my music even more than I love my music, because everybody's having the time. We got KJ Knight, who was one of the original drummers with the Amboy Dukes. He's joining us. I'm going to try to get him on stage, play some licks. But bottom line is, thank you, everybody. Ted Nugent, Adios Mofo 23 is the greatest tour of my life, and I thank all the real music lovers. Chris, we'll have you on tomorrow night, and we're going to find out what kind of music stimulates your soul right here on the Nightly Nuge.
All right.
See you guys in.